Hi everyone, so today I wanted to get into 5 side hustles that you can switch on pretty quickly, and some of these you can start straight away even today. I've tried the majority of these little side hustles and they're good little earners on the side where you can, use the cash to either save, or you can use the cash earned to maybe get a little holiday in, at the end of the year. A lot of these give you a couple of £100 a month, and then there's some that are bigger earners, which I'll chat about, don't worry. Just a bit of a background on myself. This is a pretty new channel. I talk about personal finance and I work in finance as well over the last 10 years in London. So I'm all about sharing tips on how to save money, and here are 5 that you can start straight away. So the first one is Rover and Cat in a Flat. So I've used these in the UK for many years on and off, and I know they're also in the US as well. And essentially what it is a dog walking service or a cat minding service. You can also do dog boarding, or else you can just look after dogs without having to walk them. So there's lots of different features here if you like pets, and it's a way to get a little bit of extra money. So for example, you can set your own price on these apps. So if you want to get paid £20 an hour to walk a dog, if you do that 5 times a week, that's £100. I guess just to bear in mind with these apps, they do take a fee as well. So for Rover, they take about 15% on the price that you put on your site. You can hear my cat meowing in the background because she doesn't like that I'm not giving her attention. So if you have pets at home, this is quite a good side hustle because you know what they're like, you know how to deal with them. And it's a pretty good little earner. And the good thing with Rover is it's basically paying you to exercise. It's paying you either on a 30-minute or an hour basis to walk someone's dog. So in that case, for example, maybe you don't need a gym membership. You would just get paid to walk someone's dog, and then you might save £50 on a membership monthly. So it's actually a really good one, especially if you like dogs. And on the flip side, the Cat in a Flat app is a similar one as well. But also I think this one's quite good because you don't have to exert that much energy when you take care of a cat versus a dog. A dog will most likely need walking, and that's fine if you're happy to do the exercise every time. But with Cat in a Flat, most of the time you're just going in, feeding the cat, giving them little rubs, and maybe playing with them. So you can even, work on your laptop in someone else's flat while you take care of a cat. So I think it's a better one for me, like energy wise, if you're working a full-time job and then maybe at the weekends you want to look after some neighboring cats in the community, you can do that and it doesn't take that much energy. Again, this app takes a fee. There is a little bit higher, it's about 20% of a fee. So make sure you know what amount that you want to take home afterwards and incorporate the fee into your price. The second one is specific to the UK. So over here they have a rent a room scheme, and also there's something called renting a car parking scheme, which is separate to the government scheme that we have for renting a room. So let me start with the first one. So if you happen to have a property and you happen to have an extra room, which I know is not the case in a lot of London homes, but if you're elsewhere in the UK, or they might have similar schemes in other countries, there's like a tax-free benefit in a way that the government is offering. So you can get up to £7,500 tax-free when you rent out a room per tax year in the UK. So check if your local, my cat's running away with something. Check that your local area that you have or the country that you're in maybe has a similar scheme. And also renting a car park space. There is a website called Just Park in the UK anyway. There might be similar ones in other countries. And you can rent out your parking space. So if you happen to have a house or even a flat with a car parking space, free out the front, a lot of flats tend to have parking spaces too as part of, your rental agreement, or if you've bought the flat as well. And yeah, you can rent it out. So I checked in the London area. I've seen ones there that they've rented out for £20 a day. Now, if you're renting that out every day for £20 a day, that's a pretty good little profit that you got going for something that you may not be using. So really have an eye on that website Just Park to see how much money you could get to rent out a car parking space. The third one then is something that I've done in the past as well, and it's to sell on Depop or eBay or Vinted. So you might have a lot of lovely clothes in your wardrobe that maybe you don't wear anymore. So you could have summer dresses, wedding guest dresses, or even if you have like suits or shoes, all of these things can actually be put up onto Depop or eBay or Vinted, and you can sell them. You can sell your old clothes, for actually quite a lot of money. I mean, I used to do it with old, Levi's jeans that didn't fit me anymore, or like blazers and things like that. And there was a time where I was getting £300 profit a month, and I was just doing it like here and there, but that's actually quite a lot of money. And I was able to invest that money as well into an index fund, and that has grown over time. So, make sure you don't bin your clothes. Of course, you can give things to charity shops as well if you feel like it would be better used there, which obviously you won't get money for, but it's for a good cause. But if you've got, high ticket items, like maybe you've got a Tom Ford suit that's been sitting in your wardrobe for ages and ages, and you could get a fair bit of money for those things. Also a good trick, what I used to do as well, is if you go to charity shops and you might see an old Versace t-shirt in there for like £20, have a look on Depop and eBay, and let's see, what other people are paying for that kind of good, because they might be paying £60 online. So that's a little bit of way you can have fun by seeking out charity shops and then also getting a decent profit as well. So number 4 is a similar one that I've done as well, and it's to sell items on Facebook Marketplace. Now you might be rolling your eyes saying, I already do this, Jody, but there is another little trick that I've used before that's amazing for this. So in the UK anyway, and I believe there's similar websites in other countries, but in the UK there's a website called FreeCycle, and on there people give away furniture for free. And I have in the past gone onto this website. I've gone to big mansions in Surrey of lovely little housewives who've put, sofas, stools, lamps on this website because they didn't want to pay for a skip, or they just didn't want, this season's furniture anymore, and they wanted to get rid of it. I swear to God, I've been to very expensive homes based on this website to pick up items for free, which I then flipped on Facebook Marketplace. So for example, in the past, I've been able to get this lovely chair that you see in the background, which I think retailed for £800, and I got it for free, which is crazy. I also got a lamp, some stools, some chairs, and I sold all of those on Facebook Marketplace, and I think they sold within 2 days. So as long as you've got a little bit of space to kind of store them, and you don't mind someone coming to your house to collect them and pay you in cash on Facebook Marketplace, then this is quite a good way to flip things for free. Make sure you photograph them really well with some plants or lamps in the background, put it up on Facebook Marketplace, and it's like an easy win. It's like easy money, and also it's a little bit fun to hunt out these things. And then number 5 is for people who prefer to be outside, who are quite good with DIY or manual labor. There's something called TaskRabbit in the UK, and again, I think this is available in different forms in other countries. But TaskRabbit is something where, people might be looking for a cleaner, they might be looking for someone to put up their shelf or their wardrobe, or to build some IKEA packs for them. And on TaskRabbit, it's quite good because oftentimes people will put out an announcement to say, hey, I need someone to put up this shelf immediately in the area. I will pay you £100. Is anyone free? And then you can instantly, if you're quite handy, you can go on and answer them, and that's kind of an easy little bit of money that you can get. But of course, this is probably only good if you're really good at DIY. I am shocking at DIY, so this one I haven't tried, but I've heard good things about TaskRabbit, and kind of easy wins if you know how to do these things. In a similar vein, I'll give you a surprise number 6 tip on top of that. I've heard people do this in the past, and again, it's for people who are very good at DIY and outdoorsy people. But I've seen and heard people who will walk around their neighborhood, and anyone who has really bad weeds out the front of their garden, or maybe, their paint is chipping on their house, things like that, that I've known people to knock on their door and say, hey, I'll sort out all these weeds for you if you pay me X per hour. And a lot of the time people will say yes, because it's there like that because A, they couldn't be bothered to do it themselves, or B, maybe they're a little bit elderly and they haven't been able to get to it in time really. So kind of use your imagination, especially if you're in a really built up area. There's a lot of different options that you can go for, whether it's the dog walking, whether it's the flipping furniture that people are getting rid of. There's a lot of people that rent and move and, leave furniture behind and things like that. So that's always an easy one to kind of flip on Facebook Marketplace or eBay. And yeah, you know, seek out maybe some of the rural areas as well where you can do, you know, large lawns and get paid to cut grass or to look after weeding. There's always little jobs that can be done here or there. You know, you might not have a spare bedroom in your property to get, you know, the maximum amount out of these, you know, 5 or 6 tips, but there's always ways to get a couple of hundred, 3, 4, 500, depending on, you know, if you've got a pair of Chanel heels that you never wear, those will go for still a big chunk of money, even if they're secondhand. So thanks, those are all of my tips to get into side hustles in 2024. Leave some comments down below if you have any other tips that you want to share with people. I'm very curious to see what people are doing these days, but these are very quick ones that you can turn on, and let me know if you've tried any of them and if they've been successful for you and how much money you've made. So thanks everyone. I'll be posting more videos next week, so I'll see you then. Bye.